So just say, Markus, how are you? Good morning.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, good.
My camera, my name is Markus Andersen, I'm a photographer. The camera is a Leica Q2 mono today, and the coffee I drink was just a black coffee.
Just a long black, right?
Just a long black. I don't know what brand it was, but it was nice. It's fine.
Wonderful.
So yeah.
And thank you for coming out. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Luckily, we have some light this morning, although the clouds are coming in.
Yeah, the clouds are coming across, but it's fine. We'll just, I reckon we head off, do a walk.
What up? Where would you like to go?
That way.
That way.
Yeah.
I'll follow you. And for those of folks who are watching from overseas, we're in North Sydney.
Yeah, we are on the North Shore of Sydney. So over the bridge.
Over the bridge, people. It's not that scary, I promise.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is a kind of interesting location. It's the CBD of North Sydney. So, you know, we've got good, good structure, good design, all that stuff that you need for imagery.
And you get some good light as well.
Yeah, some good light, a few clouds, but that's what happens.
Our luck. It's all right. I'm sure they'll pass. Markus, I actually don't know what got you into photography, so would you mind just sharing with people watching at home? When did you start photography? What got you into it?
Well, I started studying. Well, it was like university.
Okay.
And from that, I went to the Sydney Institute of Technology, which is kind of the, I guess it's the course that teaches you how to be a commercial photographer.
Okay.
I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
And from there, I did that for 3 or 4 years. And then from that, it's just kind of a natural progression. Started to shoot interiors, exteriors, stuff like that. I have an arts background as well. Moved forward with that, just kind of continued commercially. And at one point, I got incredibly sick of it.
Okay.
And quit. And then studied graphic design for a while.
Okay.
And then, weirdly enough, what brought me back to photography and being creative was, ironically, the iPhone.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know when this would have been. 2012?
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, iPhone probably 4 at the time or 5.
Yeah, and it was just like, I bought Hipstamatic, the program.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know, for me it was like a little revelation. It was like, see, that's kind of cool light. Dude walking down, some backlit.
Leading lines, nice reflections coming down.
Good old cheesy silhouette. Anyway, yeah, so, it was kind of like a revelation because it reminded me of just like a simple point and shoot camera.
Yeah.
Didn't have to think about focus. This is Hipstamatic I'm talking about. And it did kind of weird things and it looked interesting. So yeah, I started using that and just randomly shooting again. And I don't know, it sort of brought me back to caring about photography again. And it sort of progressed. I started shooting with Leicas or whatever I had. And then it progressed to just like shooting bodies of work and getting solo shows, doing books, consistently producing work and thinking in terms of projects, rather than individual images.
Yep.
Because I think for me, it's extremely important to have parameters, for actual for work.
Yeah.
Rather than just randomly shooting stuff.
Single shots here.
Because you have to think like an artist in order to produce the work. So that's what I did. So it sort of led to shows at, from Memory Australian Centre for Photography, the books and solo shows and all that stuff. So, and then I contacted then I was a Fuji ambassador, and then I met a guy called Human, and here I am.
There you are. You've shared a lot there. We can walk if you like. If you want to go try
walk down
light over there?
Yep.
See what we can get. You went over quite a few things. So, producing bodies of work. Can you talk to us a bit more about that? I know you've got at least a couple of books out.
Yeah, I've done 3 books.
3 books.
3 books with TenG Publishing. Gianni from TenG Publishing, who produced the books
Okay.
and printed them. Yeah, 3. The Rage Against the Light was the first one. Cabramatta, which was a book entirely shot over a year on the suburb of Cabramatta in Sydney, in the western suburbs. That was my second book. My third book was Intimate, which was my kind of my last book, 2021, 22, I think, and that was street photography, but done very differently. Shot, I think, shot all on Fuji with I don't even remember the lens, but it equated with adapters on it to about a 4800mm lens.
Okay.
So what I'd do, I'd go into the CBD of the city, I'd be like about a meter away from everyone, or 2 meters away with the 1400mm lens. So I was trying to capture the little elements of people's faces, the curve of a cheek, a droplet of sweat. Intimate. You know, getting closer and closer and closer. So to see the minutiae of things rather than the field view. And then it was incorporated with images of nature, and all kind of was working around to be how everything is sort of connected in the universe. Nature, us, you know, what's where inside us is reflected out in the stars back and forth. And so it was a more concept-based book, and it was kind of my maybe being bored of street photography, and I had to do something different, as different as humanly possible. So yeah, that was my third book.
Can I ask you a question about the subjects you choose for these 3 books? I talk to friends and others who are in photography, and sometimes tell me they don't know what project you should work on. They can't think of one that means something to them. But you've got obviously 3 books out that were 3 distinctive projects. This last one, obviously intimate.
It was thought before. It was pre-thought out. Everything was pre-thought out. It just wasn't a casual thing that I went in and randomly happened to shoot a 1400mm lens at someone. I sort of, I went in as a project, and every time I went into the city or went into nature, it was, I was specifically going in like a job.
Sure.
So it's an assignment.
What made you decide to go? I guess what I'm trying to ask is, how do you decide your projects? How do you go, I want to focus on this body of work for, let's say, 12 months? Is it intuition?
Interest.
Is it
just interest. It triggers me, and I think, yeah, that's interesting. I'll do that. Or it's different, or maybe I haven't seen done before, or I'm going to try and do something in a different way to as it's been done. And also either frustration or boredom, or trying to do something different, trying to do something that's interesting to me, trying to do something that I think has legs in terms of a book or shows. Yeah. And you do, I mean, for me personally, you do have to think of output. If you're taking this seriously and you're an artist, everything is output. If you're doing a body of work, is it for a show? Is it for a zine? Is it for a book or a hardcover book or whatever? Everything is in terms of output, where it's going to go. So yeah.
Would you mind giving me a little bit more context around when you say output? Are you referring
just
to
output of like the artist? What's the end result?
What's the end result you're looking for? Yeah.
For example, if you're a painter and you're represented by a gallery, your output will be a show or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. So you know, I've got 12 months to produce this body of work, and there's an end point rather than a project that just kind of meanders on forever and never gets finished. And that's what I said. It's far easier to keep walking.
Yeah, keep walking.
It's far easier to shoot a body of work that has bookends. You know, I'm going to start here. I'm going to end here. This is what it's about. This is what I want to achieve out of it, or whatever. So you can actually. So what you've done, there's a point to doing what you've done. I mean, you get, like any artist, you get to a point where you're doing it as it's a job, you know.
I love that.
You know, it's just the reality. Unless you're just starting photography or it's sort of a, I don't know, side thing or whatever. It's fine if it is, that's cool. But for me, it's what I do. So everything has to be now thought out and worked out, and because time is precious in life.
I agree.
And we only have so much time in life. We only have so much time in life. So we have to make
the most out of it, right?
most out of what we have.
Yeah.
And with the people around us, because, it can be gone at any second.
Absolutely.
As I found out. So time is precious. So you make those moments when you can, and if you've got a couple of days to shoot something, then you work it out and you shoot it and you think about it, and you make sure that the work's going to have the life it should, rather than just going into a box or sitting on a computer and never being seen. You want it to be not appreciated, but you put a lot of effort into something, and it should. You do your absolute utmost and best to make sure it has, as I said, the life it deserves. If you put in the time in, you just don't want to sit on a computer. You want it to live,
You say, I'm smiling when you say this stuff, because about a year and a half ago, I probably realized the same thing, just talking to photographers like yourself who got the experience. And I started to think in a project term as opposed to just going out to try to get that one single shot. And that changed the way I see everything.
Absolutely. Because if you're just wandering around the city hoping you're going to get some incredible image around the corner, yeah, you might. You randomly. It's entirely possible you can, and it's happened to all of us.
Yes.
But you're going to be exerting a lot of time to get that single image. And whereas if you're thinking in terms of, I've used this thing before when I've taught people, like when I was studying. I remember they would give us assignments, okay? And one of the assignments was photograph a door, or photograph a staircase, or a bridge. You got a week to do that. So all you're focusing on and thinking about is how I'm going to make that door different. Yeah. How am I going to create that door? I know it sounds, but that's what you're focused on. So what you produce is far stronger. Because it's just not, shoot whatever. It's, I'm going to shoot a body of work on a door, or I'm going to photo a body of work on people's hands in the city, and that's all I'm going to focus on. It's just hands. And the structure of hands, and think of it in terms of, well, how would that look in a book? You could stick them all together and make the hands go into the hands, or an exhibition where it's just all hands all over a wall. I don't know, but
so creative.
But something that you can then just focus on the project
itself,
and that's when you're kind of taking it seriously, and rather than just being fun, because it's never fun when you start to do that. It's because you've got to put pressure on yourself, and you've got to make things difficult. I mean, that's why Intimate was really difficult to shoot. I mean, being 2 meters away from someone in the CBD on a street corner, sticking a lens this big in their face and pretending I'm shooting past them, or telling them, oh, don't worry, I'm shooting architecture, don't worry guys, it's in the background, or giving them that kind of long stare that I'm not actually looking at you, I'm looking through you. It's I don't know what I was talking about, I lost my train of thought, but
the projects, the outputs, it's
and as I said, it's better to produce work when you're at the bottom of the well trying to climb up, than when you're just in your comfort zone and doing whatever you're doing, making it easy, because you're never going to push yourself too hard.
It's beautiful. This is what I want to talk about.
Keep on moving.
Yeah, keep moving. I'll follow you. Go for it.
I'll follow you.
We can hike.
There's some cool little places down here.
Yeah? Let's go check it out.
Heading on down to Luna Park.
Luna Park, perfect. And we were talking about in the cafe that we both, how you brought it up, that you kind of got tired of the CBD because you've seen it so many times, and as I mentioned, I've been working there for 15, 16 years, and I feel the same. I get switched off. So would you mind just sharing that thought again around And there's no right or wrong answer here. It's just a preference of photographer like yourself. You prefer to go. I'll let you say it. You said as a
Well,
tourist.
I said the reason I went in the city was because for 2 years I hadn't been able to do really much because my mum was dying. I was looking after her, and she died a few weeks back or whenever it was. And I used going back into the city as a sort of therapy in some ways.
Okay.
Like an art therapy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I went in there. So I've been doing that, but then I couldn't keep moving. Sorry, I just keep.
It's okay.
But yeah, what I realized was that if I go in there like 3 days in a row, I'm done. You know, because there's only certain pockets of light, certain places you can go, and I just can't see things. I've seen it
So many times, yeah.
I just guess my eyes visually a bit burnt out, and I need a different location. So yeah, I kind of just need to not
change.
go back in.
Yeah.
And as I said, a lot of photographers can go to the same location over and over again, same street corner, and just try and get an image. Whereas I'm a bit different. I like to just move through. If I see something, I see something. If I don't, I don't.
You don't, yeah.
Sorry. And yeah, I know. So I said some really interesting things in the cafe, but I can't quite remember what the hell I said.
No. I think the one thing that I remember you saying is going into a new place or traveling makes you feel like a tourist. You see things differently.
I mean, that's like the reality is, though. I mean, in some ways, it's good that if you're bored of a place, you probably get better images because you're looking beyond the obvious. You know, rather than you're even looking beyond the light. You're looking into things a bit harder. Whereas when you go to a new place, you initially see everything like a tourist, I think. Everything's new and glittery, and you kind of new locations, and it doesn't mean you can't get great images, you can. But I don't know, it works both ways. As I said, getting bored can be good, but for me, I just felt like that when I was shooting in the city, I had to have a break. You know, go to a different location, go to, the CBD in North Sydney, or go to Marrickville, or go to a suburb, or somewhere completely different, a different location, different structures, different people, whatever. Because, you know, let's face it, there's only so many locations in Sydney that are getting light at the moment, and I don't know.
You got to change things up a little bit.
I get bored.
You get bored, yeah. No, I feel the same. That's been my challenge too, and now that I've got a bit more time, I'm trying to get out of the CBD and shoot other things.
Other locations, and I think, you know, not every great photo happens. People that do, and I've told you, and we had this conversation about it, that street photography is really life photography.
Yes.
It's life.
Yes.
You know, and I've always had an issue, not an issue, I don't really like the word street photography, or the two words, because what is street photography? What is it? You know, as I said, if I photograph the bottom of trees and I do 60 of them, is that street photography, or is that a concept project, or what is it? But it's still on the street. I don't know what street photography is, but most of it is just life and what's happening in life. You know, people, places.
People and places.
And yeah, so when people say they're street photographers, I think, well, it's humans and structures and this stuff and these little people that are running around everywhere. And you know what? If you go to the beach, is that street photography? No, it's life photography. But next to the beach is a street, so it's like, what is it then? So yeah, I like life photography.
So do I. That's to you. I just hope it catches on with others as well. But
yeah, I don't know. Probably
if it doesn't,
not.
it doesn't. We can't help it.
Because I think, as I said, street photography can be word-wise, can be a blessing and a curse. You know, because there are a lot of street photographers.
Yes.
And it's hard to make yourself stand out through the noise. So if you can kind of structure yourself a little bit differently and see things a little bit differently and present yourself differently as an artist, then you may be able to cut through more and maybe have your voice heard a little bit more.
More definitely, yeah.
Because
we're all trying to find our own unique visual signature and maybe a unique voice to be seen differently.
Well, let's face it, everything's been done before.
Yes.
There's nothing new.
Yeah.
So whenever people say, "Oh, I'm scared to shoot a project or scared to do this because I think it's been done before," well, everything's been done before.
Everything's done before.
It just depends how you do it and how you navigate the ideas and the. You know, as I said, I'm sure every time I take a photo and it's got deep shadow or whatever, I sometimes look at it and go, "Oh my God, it's not another one." Because you feel like you're repeating yourself. And yes. I hate that. And sometimes, I've got strong images that I'd never, it's just doing what I've done before. And right now, as I said, I'm using street photography more as a little bit of therapy, I guess, for me. To have a couple of hours in not thinking about things. Oh my God, someone sneezed.
Oh wow.
I don't have a germ issue, don't worry. I don't. So that's why I did intimate, so I wasn't repeating myself, or trying not to at least.
Have you got anything new you're working on, Marcus, or is for now just kind of?
Yeah, I am. I'm actually shooting. I'm shooting 2 bodies of work.
Okay. You don't have to share if you don't want to. It's totally fine.
No, I'll just say that one's completely on film, one's on all medium format. It's again, it's based on a concept.
Okay.
An idea, and I said it's probably been done before, but I don't care because that's how I see it. The other one is I'm shooting on digital. It's going to take a long time because I'm looking for very, very specific images, and they're found images, so found objects or things that it's just a very, very specific type of thing. And to run across one, I might run across 2 a year.
Oh wow!
That I feel is good enough.
Okay.
Because let's face it, in reality, you probably, in a career as a photographer, in the end, you probably only shoot maybe 20 or 30 great images. That's it. Over a long period of time, you shoot plenty of good ones. But no, I don't even know whether I've shot any great images. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what is a great image, really, because everything's so different. But
so this is going to take a much longer time for you to finish it up.
One is time-based.
Yes.
So I've given myself a specific time.
Yeah.
Like you've got from here to here. That's it. It ends. End of story. If it's not where I want it to be at the end of it, then so it's like a movie, you know. It's like as film directors, I've heard before, they say you don't finish a movie, you abandon it. Because it comes to a point you can just tweak it forever. And same with a book or a project. It just continues forever. And one is very based on time period.
Yes.
And the other is kind of more, a little bit, it's concept based, but it has to be more relaxed because I just can't. I'm just not going to
find the image you're looking for. Yeah, fair enough.
They only ever come up now and then. And
do you mind if I ask you about? Because I know you've mentioned how much you love film before.
Yeah.
Do you predominantly shoot on film these days?
Well, yeah. So I would say what I shoot that goes up on Instagram. Okay. One of the projects is digital, one of the projects is film.
Yes.
But yeah, everything I'm shooting, if I can, personally is film. Just because I've come to the realization, and I always have, that's what I love. That's seeing contact sheets, seeing proof sheets, seeing the imperfections, seeing just the tonality of black and white film, seeing a handprint, seeing a fiber-based print, all those things. That's what I like, and that's what I look at, and I think, oh, that's why I wanted to be a photographer. Looking at a raw file on a computer,
not so much.
it doesn't really make me.
Rely on family or having
It's like looking at I don't know what, piece of white bread. You know, it's just there's no grit to it. There's no sort of anything. It's just me. It's not. That's not to say that it's right or wrong. It's just what I like.
Just what you prefer.
And yeah, I've said it before, and I'm sure many, many times that you have to do what you love, or you're just gonna. It's just going to peter out, and you're going to get bored.
That's right.
So, I've always loved film, and that's where I started, and that's where I'll finish.
That's where you finish.
I guess.
Speaking of finish, so this has been on my mind.
Wouldn't it be ironic if a car ran over me right now, and that's where I finished?
No, I really
and that was
hope
my
not.
last comment was about film photography.
That would not be a good way
be
to
your
end
fault.
this. Yeah, it will be my fault. Damn.
No, anyway,
Should probably get
this
some sort of insurance for this delivery. Yeah, let's go. How do you like envision your art from a? I don't want to call it retirement, but when you get, do you think you'll always be shooting? Well into your 80s, 90s, do you think you'll always be working on projects, or have you got an end goal in mind going, I want to have...
I'll be going down the street in a wheelchair with my camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as I said to you before, the certain things that have happened in the last 2 or 3 years of my life have made me realize that without creativity, or I don't know, sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I don't think anyone ever stops being an artist, or once it's in you, it's in you. That's it.
Keep going.
That's why I think so many people who are creatives that, to make ends meet have to do other jobs. It can be very frustrating because they don't want the other job to become their life, because they'll always come back.
I want to do this.
To the arts.
To the art.
Because that's just what they are. And it's in you, and that's all it is. So yeah, I don't know if I'll be 80, but...
Someone's pushing you in a wheelchair with your camera in your hands.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Or maybe by then it'll just be AI.
Oh gosh.
Maybe the wheelchair.
It's just AI driven by you, hey?
As I said, but yeah, so, do you think you'll always be creative?
I can't imagine. I honestly, if I go a day or two without touching my camera, at least photographing my kids, I have just a burning desire to grab it. Like I need to. Even yesterday, I literally just walked outside, went to the stairs outside of my apartment building. The light was quite harsh. My shadow was quite long. I took a couple of photos just to, I guess, get the creative juices flowing in my brain, because I've just been missing it. I haven't been out that much in the last couple of days at all. So yeah, as far as if I can't walk and hold my camera and shoot, I think that's going to be a really tough day for me. Pull the plug on my brain. I think I'll struggle for sure.
I think when it gets, it could be like people have latent creativity in them that's been there and they haven't had the opportunity to express it, either through life circumstances or career path or whatever.
Yeah.
But once I think you kind of tap into it, it's very, it becomes, as I said to you earlier, you can't switch it off. You can't just switch your eye off, or switch your whatever off. Down this way. It's always hard to do the reverse shot, isn't it?
It is, walking backwards and filming you.
Well, that's what you got to do, man.
Dangerous.
This is how we're doing it from now on.
It's going to be camera accident waiting to happen.
But yeah, so will I be shooting when I'm 80 years old? I don't know.
100% from the sounds of it.
Will I be breathing when I'm 80 years old? That's
You'll
probably
be
the bigger
fine.
question.
You'll be fine.
But of course. But it's more to me that you've always got to continue to produce work and keep going and just keep going no matter what. Life circumstances can happen, but you need to
Push through, right?
push yourself and just say, you know what, I've got to get project worked out. I've got to, start writing notes. And that's another thing for me. It's about writing notes and collecting things and cutouts and sticking them in a book or something, like a folder for a project. So you actually get it down on paper, your ideas.
Gotcha.
Because if you just think about stuff, it just floats away. So if you think of an idea, instantly I'll write it down so I can always come back to it or put it in the phone, or because it's essential, because you're walking down the street and you say, oh, you see an image and you go, what time is it? It's 4:20. I'll come back and have a look.
Pass over there.
Yeah.
And then you come back and visit that site again at that time?
Yeah, but usually it's difficult. It's more that kind of writing stuff down for me, and like a journal. Published, I mean, like a book.
Yeah, that's something I'm actually personally curious about. So obviously you published 3 books.
If you're lucky, so for example, Cabramatta, this is one of the things I thought is interesting, and I've mentioned it when I've taught before, that, you can get assistance when you're doing a book or a project, councils, local councils, right?
Okay.
I know it sounds, but say with Cabramatta, it was a combination of Fujifilm Australia helping me a great deal, TenG Publishing helping me a great deal, and Fairfield Local Council.
Okay.
Because it worked for everybody.
Right.
So it's promo for everyone.
Yes. Okay.
So I always, if you're thinking a project, think about, and I know it sounds, but in terms of a book or shows, because they're expensive.
Yeah.
Right. A book can be $50,000 if it's or exhibitions. If you're doing it properly and getting a solo show and getting prints done and well done, that's
a lot of money.
Off the charts expensive.
Yeah.
And the odds are you probably won't sell any if it's street photography or documentary photography. And if you've got a book, they'll just buy the book. So if you can do that little thing where you maybe get a council involved or a camera company that will benefit them. Not benefit, but it helps everybody,
It's
you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like a synergy between everybody.
Yeah.
And that's again thinking, like an artist saying, well, I'm going to shoot this body of work, I'm going to maybe talk to a council and possibly get them interested. If they will, they may not, they might just say go away. But if it's a really interesting body of work,
they may say yes.
And unique, what's the harm?
Yeah.
They can only say no.
That's it.
That's it.
Can I maybe say that this is, the way I look at this is not just being an artist, but also being an entrepreneur, because the entrepreneurial side is helping you actually get a project done.
What's helping you get the body of work out there?
Out there, yeah.
Because if you don't, it's expensive. Photography, like books are incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
And exhibitions, solo shows are, if it's done, if you get things framed, or even you get, a few things framed.
Even the space itself.
If you have to pay for the space, that costs money, then you've got to get the printing, and you've got to get framing and promo and all this stuff. And then you add a book into that, which can be expensive. So if you can get even like 10 grand just from a local council helping you.
Very helpful.
And as long as the work is, helpful to them and they feel like it's producing something.
Yeah.
And then maybe I don't know, a camera company or a printing company or a film photography, you know, like Ilford or who, I don't know, whoever, can become involved, then you can sort of get your work together and get it moving and produce something. But what you were saying before about publishing, it's very difficult because I was very lucky to meet Gianni from TenG Publishing, and we were able to work together and get books done. So, you know, we were lucky, but in terms of, I've never really contacted publishers per se.
That was my next question, is any advice for someone who wants to reach out to?
Well, it's got to be interesting and it's got to be different. And of course, if you come with $100,000, you'll get it published. So don't worry about it then. But if you're coming with not a lot, I don't know, that is a difficult one, because unless you're kind of more historical artist who can get the work just published like a retrospective or whatever.
It's definitely giving me some ideas to think about my own projects that I'm working on, and hopefully I get lucky to get some finances for it. And
well, I don't want to make it sound like it's all about money.
No,
but,
I get
but
it.
Unfortunately, you know, to do things it costs cash, and exhibitions cost money, books, zines,
They all
everything.
cost money, yeah.
So
sure.
unless you know you're independently wealthy, it's quite
Difficult, definitely.
And,
it's for me, it's just thinking about my income, how much of it can I sacrifice to put towards my passion, as opposed to feeding my family and taking care of them. So now I completely with you. If you have deep pockets, then you can take care of it. If you don't, then you need to find...
Well, you have to make the best of it and do what you can do.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, you just don't say, no, I can't do it, that's it.
Yeah.
Because then you've given up.
No, not giving
If you
up at all.
believe in your work and you believe in the strength of it and you think what you're doing is of value and it's interesting, then you can't just give up, because then you've given up.
Then you've given up. That's not what we're trying to do.
And as I've said, that we get one little shot at this life, one little shot, and when you get any little opportunity or anything, you grab it, I think.
Most definitely.
But here we are. We're coming down to Luna
coming
Park.
to one of the most visually stunning parts of Sydney. You probably can't see it from here, but we'll get a little bit closer. Across the bay from the Opera House and the bridge.
That's right.
Luna Park. Have you ever shot anything up here, like the pool?
Yeah. Years ago, I did. Yeah, I took images here, and I don't know. Sometimes it's just nice to come down to Luna Park because it's life, people, and sort of a different environments. And
Marcus, when you work on a project, I mean, it's probably going to be one of those things that, how long is a piece of string? How do you, from a time perspective, how do you decide how much time? So you've said, like, okay, 12 months for a project, but how much time would you spend per week? Do you go, okay, or is it more of a, how do you feel that week, or how is the project progressing?
If it's a project that's very, I'm going to a location specifically, because what I'm shooting is all medium format film, so I don't really have, I'm not, burning through film.
Yeah.
So it's very specific. So, I'll go here at this time, and I'll say it's going to take 5 hours to do this, maybe on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Okay.
But it's what you're able to devote. What you can and what you can't.
Gotcha. Okay.
But you have to. If you don't take the time out to do it, then why bother?
It won't even get done, yeah.
So you've got to, if you're serious, it's like, well, I've got to do it. I've got to make the time. Otherwise, it's just a waste. So yeah, it depends. I mean, if it was like with intimate, that was leading up to COVID when I was shooting it. And I was like, literally, I think I finished
Right as COVID was
right
starting.
as COVID was starting.
Lucky man.
And because I can tell you, I wouldn't have been on street corners.
No. Near the people's faces, breathing, anything.
And there would have been like no one there anyhow. So
That's right.
it was the last kind of, bunches of people together for a couple of years. But that was, again, it was again picking my time. If I could get in there for an hour in the morning or 2 hours when there was a lot of people congregated, because that's where you can, where you get the best images, or at intersections or street or signs where people are looking and expressing and doing stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's where, or there's the opposite of that, when there's a void and there's one person, like alone together type thing in the city. But yeah, with that, if I could get an afternoon hour or a morning hour, I'd use that. But again, I would have to treat it like a job or an assignment. That's about it.
That's about it?
That's about it.
That's the first shot you've taken today. That's okay. We've been chatting about a lot of stuff.
As I said, it wasn't even life photography. It was weed photography.
It was weed photography.
Yeah, it's like, who doesn't love a bit of weed photography? Or who doesn't like smoking a bit of weed photography? But yeah, so as I said, I don't, something about, I don't know what I was talking about.
We lost, that's okay. We paused, and I just was thanking you, because for me, this has been, I'm still really new to this stuff. So talking to someone like you who's been doing this for a long time, a lot of value, a lot of learning. You're, I guess, cramming years of experience into
I'm trying to think of something
minutes.
that's valuable. Like, and it's very difficult because everyone thinks differently, and what I say would be opposite to what someone else would say. So everyone's different. It's just my perspective.
100%. And
right or wrong.
That's still valuable.
And but yeah, see, here we are at Little Park. Look at that view. A beautiful black wall.
This has been on the construction.
Is there anywhere else in Sydney where they're actually not doing construction?
It's mad.
Is there anywhere?
Oh my gosh. Well, sir, I've taken quite a bit of your time this morning. Is there anything that you want to share that I haven't asked you about? Any last inspirational quotes or any lessons for me personally? Or anyone who's watching?
Here's a lesson. Get out of the way of the car. That's a lesson.
That was, and your word.
That's my final lesson today. That's it. So yeah, but it was nice, Mark. It was nice to meet you and nice to have a chat.
Lovely. Thank you for your time, Marcus. Really appreciate it.
Cheers.
Speak soon.
Bye-bye.